action fanatics, welcome to an almost live edition of the Bulletproof podcast. I'm your host, Chris the Brain. Joining me is a man who, if he had hair, it may be hockey hair, the Toyman, Chris DePetrillo.
Here I am, almost live. Do you remember Almost Live from Comedy Central? Great show. That's where that high five and white guy skit came from. I'm probably dating myself with that reference,
I have
but
no idea what
happy
you're
to be
talking about.
back. Yeah, look it up after this. But let's get through the podcast first. Happy to be back with all my Bulletproof boys here for a podcast that is sure to be more exciting than the actual Stanley Cup Finals game that's on tonight. Because as we record this, the Florida Panthers are destroying the Edmonton Oilers, and we have a split household here. I am an Oilers fan. Little Zach is going for the Panthers, so he's probably going to be roasting me come morning.
We'll find out. And also joining us, Ryan Campbell is back after a 1 week hiatus.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, and I'm intrigued because I was wondering the same thing, that we're recording this as the Stanley Cup playoffs or finals are going on. And the first two games, Brain, did end in sudden death, overtime.
Ooh.
Double the other night. Double overtime.
There was an issue. We didn't mention Gary Robbins on a recent podcast. And because of that, we've been cursed. And Brain, I'm going to let you get to our next guest.
I'm going to tell you something. Are you referring to the next week's podcast?
Maybe, yeah. I think it was next week's. I don't think.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. All right. Now I want you guys to unlock the penalty box because guess who's back? It's Chad Cruz.
That's what I thought. I thought that was the curse.
I'm back, motherfuckers. Sorry, bleep that out.
You're better than ever, Eric Bischoff.
No,
style.
I'm definitely not better than ever.
He does have Eric Bischoff hair, though.
Brains, yeah, it's white as can be. Brain said an almost live podcast, and I said, "Well, I'm alive. Does that count?"
We're all alive if we're on here. I'm just saying we're recording. This is actually perfect Chad Cruz because this is how we used to do it when Chad was a regular. We were doing this last minute bullshit.
Wait, are you blaming me for this?
Yes. It's almost like, oh, it's a last minute one. Of course I want to be on that. Why should we be on one like we recorded weeks ago that Ryan Campbell's referencing like it's already happened? Because Ryan Campbell, he's forgetting that we recorded that weeks in advance.
I did forget. It had to air by now.
Post-production can change a lot of things.
I'm excited to hear it.
To be fair, I did complain that I wasn't on the Gladiator podcast, and
he was on it.
I was, in fact, on that podcast. So.
That was the last one he was on, and that one just recently went up on our YouTube channel, so you can check out Chad's previous appearance after you're done, of course, listening to this fine episode. But before we get into it, I got to talk about it because next week is Wild West Week on BulletproofAction.com. And it's going to start off big with Django the Bastard. That's right. I'm covering that one. How about the Wide West? And then Toyman, you've got a big one coming up with so many action luminaries in it.
So many legends, so many people that we love, that we adore, that we talk about, that we have connected with through everything that we do at BulletproofAction.com and this podcast. Of course, I am talking about Black Creek, the movie that is reuniting so many stars. Cynthia Rothrock spearheading this project. Got a Western vibe. Don the Dragon Wilson is in it. The late Richard Norton is in it. Just so many faces. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one.
And we got coming at you from Matt Spector and a little Young Guns to wrap up the week as well. And then next week here on the podcast, it's going to be Wild West as well because Ryan Campbell and myself are taking a ride on the Breakheart Pass Express.
That's right. Even the podcast is getting in the game.
So that's all happening. Next week, it's Wild West Week, BulletproofAction.com. But this week, you mentioned it, Chris, it's the Stanley Cup Finals. And what better movie to cover during the Stanley Cup Finals than the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic, Sudden Death, released on December 22nd, 1995, directed by Peter Hyams, who did Time Cop, which we've also covered. Check it out in the archives. Chad Cruz, Was this a theater one for you, or did you see it on video?
This was definitely a video one for me.
What about you, Toyman?
Video one for me as well.
Get together. And Ryan Campbell, you watched it on UHF television.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like in that same realm around the same time of like Total Recall and Running Man, of being those like Star 64 afternoon action movies that I just remember constantly seeing on. So that's where a lot of my appreciation and exposure to it was from.
This one was a theater movie for me. I saw it with my father, who is a big hockey fan. So it was a perfect Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Did he ever get up and tell you to stay in your seat, even if the theater was collapsing around you?
No, he did not. He did not. And unfortunately, the theater was fine. It was
even in this theater's collapsing around you. Just stay in your seat.
Oh my. Thank you for that Kenny K impersonation that everyone knows. Listen,
that's right. It really resonated with the people.
They knew exactly who you were mimicking there. So we get our opening credits, and Chad Cruz. I'm sure you really like this movie for a number of reasons, because we see the Pittsburgh Fire Department responding to this house fire.
True heroes. Yeah.
True heroes. And one of the truest of the true heroes, Darren McCord, Jean-Claude Van Damme himself, attempting to save this young girl, but it's not working out. He's buried under rubble, and there's more coming, and it does not work out at all. It's a nightmare. It's the worst case scenario for a firefighter who's trying to save a life.
Yeah, it's a real tragedy. You know, so often these movies start with something like this, right? We have to introduce our character in a way that will kind of propel him down this pathway of all the other shit that's going to come later. And this scene is kind of doing that for us. He saves the girl, and he's laying on top of her trying to protect her. But even that aura that Van Damme has can't protect this little girl. So you can just see the look in his face when he looks down and sees her. So it's pretty rough.
Welcome back, Chad Cruz. We just lay on him like the most traumatizing thing that can happen in his profession, just right out the gate.
Yeah.
Well, he's trained for it, and he's here. He's back. We're taking advantage of that. And now we time jump. So obviously, Darren McCord, we assume obvious PTSD. He's having some troubles, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But now we go time jump. It's game day. It's the 7th and deciding game of the Stanley Cup Finals. It's taking place in Pittsburgh. There is 4 hours until face-off, and I think this movie does such a fantastic job of that, just the countdown, and it's coming. It really builds and builds and builds. We get to see the inside of the ESPN TV truck. I mean, it's just a buzz. There's so much going on, Ryan Campbell, in these opening moments.
Oh, and not just that, just the addition of using real NHL teams, real arenas, the actual ESPN, like the actual on-air graphics they use. Like everything adds this legitimacy to it. They didn't have to use like generic hockey teams or fake news, a fake sports network or whatever. I mean, everything just seems legit. Like you feel like you're watching this transpire, during Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. And there's nothing bigger than a Game 7, Brain. So the stakes are already set incredibly high.
And Brain, what's the most important thing in comedy?
Timing.
And the timing of this film, when it was filmed, was during the NHL lockout.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's right. I'm glad you brought that up, because the players in there, was some of them at least, were from the Cleveland Lumberjacks, which was like the farm team of the Penguins, the IHL or whatever the hell they were. So yeah,
very cool.
They did some of that. So and my dad was a big Cleveland Lumberjacks fan. So again, he was all in on this Van Damme movie. This may be the only Van Damme movie he's ever
favorite
seen.
film. Are you gonna cry?
Am I gonna cry? No.
And the arena wasn't over by the airport.
No, it was not by the airport. All right.
Now, see, this is good marketing by Brain, because the podcast is coming out this week, and what's coming up this weekend? Father's Day.
Oh,
you see, it's almost like I am a genius.
Jesus.
Don't you get that shudder of electricity just being on the same show with me?
That's right.
I've definitely shuddered. I don't know if it was because of electricity.
Listen, you bald bastard. Why don't you tell us about the Secret Service? They thought to send their very best, so they bring in Agent Hallmark.
Yeah, and that's not a code name. That's apparently his real name,
Right.
which he does get like razzed for that later on.
Mhm.
Played by Dorian Harewood, who action fans may recognize another 10 years after this, making an appearance in the remake of Assault on Precinct 13.
Huh. Sounds like a porno name.
Like
I'm sure that
kind of
he
like
wished it
Chad Cruz.
was.
So yeah, Agent Hallmark, he's there. He's going over some of the security protocols because as if though this isn't big enough. Game 7. Oh my God. The vice president himself will be attending the game.
There's nothing sports fans hate more than when a politician comes to their event and causes nothing but headaches. Reminds me of like the Daytona 500 and some other events this year that have had a certain political presence that fans have not been happy about because it's going to cause so much more headaches for security and parking and getting in and out.
Yeah, they're only using one entrance, which seems because they got to check. It's something. Know what else is something? A fender bender. But this one, it wasn't like a just accidental fender bender. This was deliberate by God. As we see some bad guys basically do it to take over a utility vehicle. So something's afoot. What's going again? There's so many moving pieces at this beginning of the film.
Yeah, would you think that there's just too many uncontrollable things here at the beginning of their scheme?
No, there can never be too many in these kinds of
Not too many.
I kind of like if we're going that this is kind of fits into the Die Hard family, and I might get into a little bit later why some ways it doesn't, but I love that first opening act or whatever where you do start seeing like the very beginning formations of their plan, and maybe all the pieces aren't quite coming together yet. We don't understand why they're doing some of these auxiliary things miles away from the site, but yeah, it's kind of setting the stage. And again, the countdown clock and the other things going on, like there is this sense of, like you said, Chad, timing and urgency that runs over the entire course of the movie.
So from there, we see our hero, Darren McCord, who's now like he's basically a fire marshal, an inspector of sorts.
Yes.
He is no longer really doing the actual firefighting after what happened. And it's, you can understand that, which kind of makes him at this point in this very Die Hard like movie, he's more Al Powell than he is John McClane at this moment.
Right.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I thought maybe it doesn't quite fit in because so much of Die Hard is wrong place, wrong time. And he is very specifically the right guy at the right time. So it's a little bit different in that way, but definitely the kind of flying the ointment element is there.
I think it has a bit of realism as well, though, because I have my fire inspector certification. So, and that's one of the reasons why I keep it is, if there comes a time where I'm not ready to work as I'm currently working and I want to kind of take some time, take a break, if you will, I can always go to be an inspector. Right. So people do that a lot every year. Lots of people do it. So
Chad Cruz, you're so smart.
Thank you.
So yeah,
diversifying.
Darren pops over to see his kids. We find out he is in fact also a divorced man. His son Tyler is playing with his stepdad, playing hockey outside, and obviously hockey fever is in the air. It's Game 7 for God's sake. But guess what? He's going to be working Game 7, and they gave him 2 free tickets, and he's got 2 kids. So
perfect. He's got 2 tickets.
He does. And you know what?
I like how we didn't go with the usual trope of, trying to one up the stepdad or anything. The stepdad seems like the cool guy. It's the ex-wife that's like, oh, could you let me know next time?
Right.
Like she's kind of huffing and puffing while the stepdad's like, oh, hey, nice.
The stepdad also has to contend with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right.
As the ex, you know what I mean? It's like having your wife like, oh, I used to date this Navy SEAL. You know what I mean? Like, God damn it.
Charlie Sheen?
Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Michael Biehn.
So she is a bit annoyed, but even she can understand that Game 7 trumps a happy birthday dinner. You could
She
do
does
that.
say, like, it's not fair to the kids. Yeah, it's definitely not fair to the kids to take them to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Totally not fair.
Mhm. But she does let it happen. So now we cut to a scene where these fake ID badges are being created, and it's like bad guy meeting, and they all get their badges because they do need stinking badges for this.
Yeah.
And they mobilize, and now it's 2 hours until face off. And now we go into the Pittsburgh Civic Arena, aka the Igloo, and we meet Chef Andrew, who is he's in charge of this kitchen. It's his kitchen. He's the chef.
Yeah, yes, chef. Yes, chef.
And not only that, he's in charge of that damn elevator, Chad Cruz. Nobody can go up that elevator without Chef Andrew saying, "Yep," because that they're preparing a meal for the vice president, the mayor's there, obviously the owner of the team, all the dignitaries are going to have a spread in the owner's box.
If they didn't want him to run the elevator, they shouldn't have put it in the damn kitchen.
My buddy, his brother's the chef for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah. I'll bring him on sometime.
Perfect.
Now,
Does he
Brain,
control
not to
any
jump ahead,
elevators?
not to jump ahead, but how would you classify the events in this movie? Would they fall under World's Most Dangerous Elevators or the World's Most Dangerous Kitchens? Because the elevator's in the kitchen.
I would
Oof.
put it in kitchens.
Oof.
Personally, especially a little bit later, we'll see quite a bit of danger in the kitchen.
I really respect these bad guys for waiting to the last minute to do all this work as well, because that's kind of my style.
That way, no one can get. That way, no one can get on their trail.
It's true. No one. Yeah, there's no time. There's no time to.
By
to
the
track
time
him
they've put
down.
the pieces together, yeah, they're halfway done.
All right, Toyman. I know this is one of your favorite scenes of the film because
Oh yeah.
we cut to Mrs. Ferrara doing a little yard work. And boy, I remember being in the theater, being very surprised to see this woman was still alive and working at this point. But there she was. Tell us about her.
You were talking about Audra Lindley. Now, we had talked, obviously, in our daily text chat about where she had been at the time. A lot of people might remember her as Phoebe's grandmother on Friends during this era. However, she was, and she will always be, at least to me, Mrs. Roper from Three's Company, the great Audra Lindley, making an appearance in a Van Damme film. Worlds colliding here on the Bulletproof podcast.
Yes, I think that's the other thing. Like, if I don't know, if I don't think I saw her on Friends. I know I would watch Friends here and there, but yeah, who the hell's thinking that Mrs. Roper is going to be in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? I certainly was not.
And I bet if Norman Fell, if Mr. Roper was in this movie, he wouldn't have taken some of this shit that happens while he's in that kitchen. If he was the head chef, well, he actually, you know what? Maybe he wouldn't take the shit, or maybe when they called to threaten him, he might have been like, "Oh, you've got my wife. All right, keep her."
Right, and then he would have turned to the camera
and smiled. Yes.
Yeah, he's great. God bless Mr. Roper. All right, so yeah. She gets paid a visit. Let's just say I'm your nephew. And this guy, he's like a real scumbag, bad guy. I don't care
Looks
for
like
him.
He came
at
from
all.
an 80s hair band, looking a little out of place in 1995.
He does.
He's quite the utility player, though. He's going to be all over this plan.
He is.
They have a lot riding on this particular guy.
Yeah, he's the outside guy. He's not allowed in. They know it. Nobody would trust him in the building.
I think if you're going to be a bad guy in a crew like this, you can't just be like a dude with your hair parted in a jacket. You got to have like stupid hair and like a fucking combat boots and a pair of shorts on or something. You have to look weird.
It's like in the Ocean's movies, how those two brothers like do all the hard work, and they kind of depict them as being like the brainless ones,
Weirdos.
but yeah, without them, like none of this stuff would have happened because they do like 90% of all the grunt work.
Speaking of 90, we are now 90 minutes away until face off. Oh my God.
I can't wait. People are starting to, the arena area is coming alive. People are starting to park. There's some tailgating going on. The intensity is starting to get palpable, Brain.
They waited to freeze the ice until 90 minutes.
That's right. Yeah.
I've read that somewhere. Yeah.
That's how they did it back in the 90s.
Yes.
Well, the McCords arrive at the igloo and they bump into the lovely Joan, who is actually the woman inside the iceberg mascot outfit.
To the shock of his son.
Oh yeah, his son just thought it was some fat dude, but instead it was this hot blonde.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. So Joan is like, Joan, can you take Emily to whatever? Show her iceberg. I'm gonna take Tyler down to the Penguins locker room. And what a moment it is for him, Chris, to go into a professional hockey locker room and meet one of his favorite players. I mean, that's big.
Yeah, the great Luc Robitaille, actually played by the great Luc Robitaille, making an appearance here in this.
It's the role he was born to play.
It was during his tenure with the Penguins. This was after his elite run, amazing run as a member of the Los Angeles Kings. And after he played for the Penguins, he moved on to one of my top two favorite teams. He eventually became a New York Ranger. So I would consider myself a Luc Robitaille fan. So again, worlds colliding here on the Bulletproof podcast.
Do you think his teammates gave him crap for being a scab that he was in the movie during the strike? Does that not count?
Mm.
Is that like a gray area? How do we handle this?
I think it's a gray area.
I think
like he got to be himself, and maybe he was just trying to kind of keep his skills and skates sharp. I don't know.
I mean, you have to look at the contract, right? If your contract states you can't appear in movies as yourself, then he was going against the contract. So then he would be a scab. But if it doesn't say that in the contract.
Ooh, if only social media was a thing in the 90s, that would have been some stupid ass
Right.
argument that only happens on Twitter.
Right.
No, scab in the movie.
Oh, he never was on the ice. So maybe that's like, as long as you're not on ice, you can do whatever the hell you want.
That actually works out for him, because in the following season he had more penalties than he had time on the ice.
So listen to our Mr. Facts over there. We'll go back to Mrs. Ferrara and the no good nephew who wants some cookies. But she doesn't. She has Fig Newtons, so she gets them for him. And he gets a little jumpy, but she tells him her machine gun is with her produce. Very, very smart lady. Let's go back to the Penguins locker room, shall we? Because we got the vice president and Chad Cruz. What a familiar face playing our vice president.
Yeah.
Raymond J. Barry.
It's hard to trust a face like Raymond J. Barry's after you've seen him in certain other films as just kind of the smarmy bad guy.
Rapid
Fire obviously comes to mind. And he'll get
ties into this film too.
It does. He'll get to pair up with an old friend from Rapid Fire here soon. But yeah, I mean, what an incredible actor. I think he's still working today. I feel like I saw him in something not that long ago. He's pretty elderly now, but yeah, I don't really watch anything that's in the last 10 years. So maybe it was an old movie, but
well, he was on Justified. I don't know if you watched Justified, but he played Timothy Oliphant's father.
Oh,
Chad Cruz didn't watch that.
Actually, it's gonna be Wild West Week. That's got a very Western vibe to it. So maybe some of you guys might need to check that one out.
As of last year, he was in Filthy Animals.
Nope. Last year.
With Billy Kidman?
A short called The Painter. He was on the TV series Snowfall on FX as of 2022. So he's still been doing some stuff.
There we go. He's got to be in his 80s by now, right?
Yeah.
Call him up. Brain, did you graduate high school with him?
No. I did not.
He is 86 years old.
Holy shit.
Good for you, Raymond J. Barry.
Guys, if I make it to 86, just kill me.
I was going to do it at 76 for you, you bastard. All right. Our ESPN coverage begins. It's the Penguins. It's the Blackhawks. It's Game 7. I wish Stu Nahan was on the call, but he's not. But that's all right. We go back to Mrs. Ferrara, and she's now, this is why they were there. She is the wife of Andrew the chef.
It's all coming together.
It wasn't just some random woman they were deciding to harass. It was.
I assumed that the power lines for the stadium somehow ran under her house or some shit like that.
That could have been too. Yeah. So basically, she calls, "Hey, you got to take these 4 men up to the owner's box." if you say anything's wrong, if you act like anything's wrong, if you try to call the cops, they're going to kill me. So you got to do it. So obviously they must have a loving relationship, because he's like, this would have been a perfect out if he hated this woman.
Right. He's like, fuck the vice president.
Right.
I need the Fig Newtons.
Instead, he's like, no way. I'm not gonna betray my wife. So here we go, and that's where we meet Joshua Foss. Do they ever actually say his name though? I don't know. I don't think they do, but it doesn't
Not
matter.
right away.
It's
Not
the
that I
one and
recall,
only,
Not right away.
the one and only Powers Boothe.
What a great name.
It's a great movie name.
Great name.
Is that a stage name?
Great pro wrestling name.
That's what I'm saying. Is that his kayfabe name or what?
I don't know. It's
I
good.
don't know.
It's so good. It's got to be real.
Right. With a name like that, it's got to be Smuckers.
Like Brain. Brain's like middle name The, last name Brain.
Right.
Just
I
the
mean,
Brain. Wild.
Come on, that's crazy that
You can't make it up.
Yeah. But yeah, Powers Boothe, what a freaking legend he is. I mean, come on now. Again, we just talked about Rapid Fire. What about Tombstone? What about Red Dawn? This motherfucker's been on some great shit, Chad Cruz.
Indeed. And he
He's
always
in the
brings
Avengers.
Hmm?
He was in the Avengers for MCU fans out there.
Okay. I just was talking about action movies. Okay. 2 minutes until face off now. Oh my God, I'm excited. All right. So now Andrew and the bad guys go up. The rest of the kitchens. All right. You guys go home. We don't want you people in here anymore. So they're out.
No more food to be made. We're done making
for
food.
anyone.
Right.
No one's eating. Fuck it.
There are no other important people at this very marquee event that might need food.
If they're hungry, eat a corn dog.
I will say this though, I really wanted some shrimp cocktail watching this stinking movie.
Well, you should have went and got some.
I should have.
Or Instacart or whatever the hell. National anthem plays. Real security guys are getting taken out. Mrs. Ferrara is killed, even though she went along and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. But obviously, she's a freaking witness. So
this movie has some of the best silencer kills of just like that was so prevalent at the time. The nonchalant henchman that just kind of just goes with the silencer.
Yep,
love it.
And
they really did give a lot of the bloodshed to the kind of like faceless, nameless henchmen in this one.
Yeah.
I would say, and that was one of the observations I had for a little bit later is I can't remember a movie like this that does off so many like hostages. Like usually you get like one in the beginning to kind of show that they're serious, but they kill
the example person.
Yeah, they kill like 7 people like once their plan starts, just like to prove a point, which I thought was they just keep they keep going with it. These guys are in deep, not to be messed with.
They're super serious.
They're professionals, man. They're not.
They even got like a Zamboni that's like in on it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. They take advantage of the entire arena and all things around it. So now Foss has the control of the owner box. He kills Secret Service guys. He kills the chef. Well, he does. Well, yeah, he does. He kills some of them himself. He don't care. They want these people dead. They mean business.
He is not willing to ask his men to do anything that he himself would not do. That's a good leader.
Very true. So yeah, then let me tell you something. The tech guy arrives, and do you know how he's the tech guy? Anyone?
He's a fucking pussy.
He's always
he's got glasses.
Nerd.
Both. Yes, you're both correct. He's playing video games in between, and
oh god,
and he's got those fucking glasses. Like, I'm the computer guy. I got glasses.
What game?
I'm gonna hack and use all the. I'm gonna hack the
Doom.
mainframe and all the speak that they did in the '90s when they thought they were trying to do computer talk.
Computer, yeah. I think he was playing Doom, if I'm not mistaken.
That was actually a pretty sweet game, though.
Yeah, and it gave me motion sickness.
You were probably what, 40 when it came out?
Yeah.
A new Doom game just came out.
In
the year of our Lord 2025.
Fantastic. Are they a sponsor here?
They are not, but if you want to check out Doom,
don't buy it.
Ages.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
No.
So now we've got so now we get what the hell is he doing this for? He wants money. He's got the vice president. He wants money. And
it was a lot of money too. It was like $1.7 billion or something, right?
Indeed. And so much of it at the end of every period of hockey. So he's got this
Oh.
all planned out. Again, so we're using the clock. We're using this. This movie.
Yeah,
So good.
The tenseness of a game 7 that's going back and forth, laid on across this, setting the timeline again. Beautiful.
And we've got Hallmark out in like the mobile command center, and he's like, "Why have we lost contact with the vice president? What's going on? It's all falling apart. All his plans went to shit."
Oof.
Well, speaking of plans going to shit, if you're looking for over $1 billion,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to just get it quick and take off? You're giving them time to figure out how to counteract you if you're taking it piecemeal.
Hockey fan.
Yeah, and deep down he wanted to see game 7.
In the owner's box. How many people get to say that?
And we're talking old arena owners boxes that for whatever reason were like 6,000 feet away from the playing surface.
Hey.
I think there's like a dynamic to the people who, Powers Boothe's character. If you think about the head bad guy in all these Die Hard style films, they all have like this power quality to them that they're getting off on being in charge and controlling, federal agencies and controlling, even like, talking over the radio with the hero. They're loving every second of that. He's probably got, big old hard on just thinking about like killing all these people and having, being in control of thousands of people. So, having the timeline be his, I think that's all part of it.
Oh yeah, the hubris. And we'll find out here in a little bit another very big reason why he has so much confidence in his plan.
Well, and also it's obvious that he knows how the other side operates. We don't exactly know what he does or did before this, but he was some kind of government person. He was in CIA.
He's an inside man.
So he knows. He's exploiting what he knows is wrong with the system. And he's doing a fantastic job of it thus far. Tyler and Emily, I'm sure all three of my co-hosts today could empathize with what's happening here because the kids are arguing with one another.
Not necessarily. I don't think Lau will give a shit anywhere he's at.
My kids fight.
I mean, don't forget, I've only got one kid. Usually if he's arguing, it's with me.
I was counting you as one of the kids.
Oh,
Chad
sure.
Cruz, though, I know you know about fighting kids.
I have 3 kids.
One of each.
There you go.
And it causes me to drink a lot.
There you go. So yeah, these kids are fighting, even though their dad said, you guys have to stay in these seats. But when you get Sprite spilled on you, you tend to want to get up and go clean up. So that's exactly what happens with Emily. She's pissed with her brother. She storms off to go to the restroom. Back to the owner's box. This money is not moving, and it's the end of the first period. So what are we going to do? Are we going to stand by what we said, or are we going to be nice guys? Hell no. Mayor's wife dead.
Oh, well, she won't stop crying. I think we all agree, she kind of needed to go first if we're going if someone has to go.
Yeah.
That bitch won't shut up. Shoot her.
Ladies first.
Indeed. Gentlemen. But from gentlemen to ladies, we go to the ladies' room. Emily's like, oh, there's Iceberg, my friend that I met earlier. But it's like Iceberg's not even paying attention because she's too busy jamming this dead woman in a stall. So that's a problem.
World's most dangerous bathrooms. When you've got a team mascot murdering someone, that is a dangerous bathroom break.
Very dangerous. So yeah, Iceberg then's like she notices that Emily saw that. So when Emily goes out, Iceberg's right behind, grabs her up. Now Darren goes back to see his kids. Where the hell is Emily, though? I told you not to leave these seats. And that's where he hits the line. Even if the building is falling down around you, you stay in this seat, Tyler. Then he's got to go find Emily.
What a moment of foreshadowing.
Indeed. So there, Darren sees Emily and Iceberg, the crowded concourse. Obviously, we're between periods here. People are going out to get their corn dogs because they don't have food brought to them like the vice president.
No, and they stopped cooking.
Right. So they got to just eat the fucking hot dogs and the pretzels.
And apparently bags of popcorn that have already been popped and been transported from Cross town.
and the nachos, all of that.
Favorite
So
game day food in the
Right.
stadium. Go ahead, Brain.
Go for it. So yeah, now Iceberg goes to the elevator in the.
Who's asking, Ray?
Oh,
Soft
did
pretzel.
you say that? Oh
Soft
yeah,
pretzel.
Yeah.
Chad Cruz
yeah.
for
It's a
me.
pretzel.
Soft-
It's a
ooh.
pretzel.
Soft
I love
pretzel,
the
pretty.
pretzel
Big ass soft pretzel.
and a nice cold
Yep.
Pepsi, or
Oof.
Coke, whichever one they have. I'm not
Yeah.
that
I
crazy.
feel like for whatever reason, most arenas have Pepsi, but restaurants are Coke. I don't know why that's the case.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'll have
I'm a Coke guy myself.
We know that's why you're so thin. Okay. Does anyone else want to give their I'm sorry, Chad. I was so into this movie that I missed
think
your question, and I'm also
That's
so
fine.
used to you not even being here
that's
that
right.
I thought you were just a voice in my head.
Yes.
You gotta excuse him, everyone. He's getting old.
If I was the voice in your
And
head,
it's late.
whew, buddy.
and he's
That's
gonna edit this right after, pretty much.
Jesus Christ, we should have just done it live at 5 a.m. God damn it. All right. Or just did this live now. No one's gonna complain. Yeah.
This is almost live, by the way.
Almost live, folks. Toyman, your favorite arena food.
I would actually go with you with either the giant soft pretzel, but with some of that nacho cheese to dip
Oh
it in.
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
of
my.
course, yes. I should have said that.
I think in a hockey situation, it's a little colder in the stadium, in the arena.
Mhm.
You got to go with like a hotter food, right?
Mhm.
The warm pretzel or the slice of pizza. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Pretty
Doughboy,
great.
giant doughboy.
Oof, buddy. I tell you, a baseball game though, give me that frozen lemonade. You ever have one of those after drinking about 20 beers the day before?
There you go.
Whew, buddy.
No.
Or ice cream in the baseball helmet. That's a good one too.
Ah, classic.
Yes.
Yeah. I like all these foods. Iceberg.
There is a movie to talk about.
There is, and it's sudden death. And Iceberg
And
has
it's about
Emily,
to pick up.
and they're going to the elevator, the kitchen elevator that goes up to the owner's box, and kills that security guard. So this little girl just saw another dead body. This one she got to see like in the process of it happening. Then she almost dies herself, but Iceberg, evil, and we should note this is not the real Iceberg. This is an evil person inside the iceberg.
Yeah, what happened to the hot blonde?
Allegedly.
No, we'll find out what happened to her. It wasn't good. I got news for you. But yeah, she ran out of bullets. So all right, I'll just take you up to my boss, Foss. And we get an Emily and Foss face off. And boy, Toyman, does she put over her dad.
Yeah, and it is rather Foss does not seem too impressed. She just starts name dropping how cool her dad is. He's the fire marshal. He's gonna kick your ass. All the usual type of stuff that the little runts of the litter would state to get their guardians or older brothers or sisters, the hero worship to get that across. And Foss is like, yeah, whatever. Sit down, kid.
There's nothing better than when your kid thinks you're cool. That's the best. Like when they want their friends to come stay at like their house, not just like run to their friend's house, or for those of you that are divorced out there, when they kind of prefer maybe to be at your place. Those are good feelings, good vibes. I like it.
Our house has definitely become the hangout house. Zach likes to have everybody over here. So we'll see if that continues as he gets older and his parents become less cool to him.
Mm-hmm. And keep us posted. Chad Cruz, one of your favorite scenes, one of probably everybody's favorite scenes is about to happen, because now Iceberg has to go back down down the elevator, and at this point Darren has caught up, and we got ourselves one of the world's most dangerous kitchens.
Kitchen fight. Yeah, it's you wouldn't expect to watch a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie and see him fighting a person in a mascot costume.
No.
And that's what makes it so much fun. It's also great because, we've met Darren's character already, but now he knows martial arts.
Yeah.
Kind of all of a sudden he's just like kicking people and shit. You know what I mean? Which isn't how most
Maybe
people
that's what he was doing in that 2-year layover.
Yeah, he was touring.
He went to the
Temple.
Shaolin Temple of Montreal and learned kung fu to try to ease his mind.
But oftentimes you'll get in a movie and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, when my dad got out of the Marines, he became this, or my dad was that." But he just like he's a firefighter, and then this shit happens, but now he's roundhouse kicking people, and
Can I make a confession?
oh boy, here we go. I've been waiting for this. Go ahead.
I can honestly say I've seen this movie many, many times. I never for 1 second even questioned that.
Yes.
I'm just like, of course it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Of course he knows martial arts.
Well, I mean, it's pretty subtle. It's not necessarily like it's not like he's doing like full on.
He's doing it quite a bit.
Other than the kicks, though, a lot of it is like punches and stuff. I don't know. Like,
And you've got to think it was, the female in the mascot costume because of all the padding and stuff. I mean, it might have well have been goddamn Bolo Young because she was taking every kick and shot because of all the padding and stuff.
I would just turn the head around so she couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just turn it backwards, right?
well, he kind of does a little variation of that here in a few minutes.
Right. She'd have been doing the Rick Martel gimmick, the blindfold. She'd have been like,
He's good.
I can't find anything.
But to your point, Brain, talking about like how so much of my early, I mean, I've seen the whole thing, but most of it comes from just like fragment memories of watching it on cable TV. And this is kind of the one I always remember is the fight scene in the kitchen with the mascot. That is what, if you talk to me about sudden death, that's instantly what I remember most about it.
It's like this movie didn't care to tell you how he knew martial arts or even explain his accent. They're
No,
just
who
like,
cares?
fuck it. He's Jean-Claude Van Damme, you dumb shits.
I would have.
It was
seen 20 movies
1995. It was 1995. They knew how to get people in the theater.
Right. I would have loved for him during this fight scene. It's a fun fight scene, right? It's Van Damme fighting a chick in a mascot costume, and she's kicking his ass. And you got to give it up to Van Damme because he's not afraid to get his ass kicked in a movie. Unlike, other, Steven Seagal's not going to get his ass kicked.
No.
I mean, the remake, Michael Jai White I don't think he's ever gotten punched before.
No.
So, Van Damme, he bleeds a lot. He gets his butt kicked all the time. So it was great. And I would have loved for him to, as he's kind of, tumbling around with her, if he had used some of his, his whole fire marshal knowledge to like set off a fucking fire suppression system in her face or something, like that would have been cool to me.
Yeah.
Just to go along with his gimmick, but still.
Oh, he's going to use
very
that
cool.
knowledge though here in a bit though. He's going to use quite a bit of that knowledge.
I can't wait to see his knowledge.
This definitely is though. If you're going to use the defining markers for World's Most Dangerous, this movie, it's almost like they wanted to get on that list, Brain, because throughout the fight, they move from like station to station to show you just how really ridiculously dangerous a kitchen is. Like, there's sharp knives. There's boiling
grease.
There's large machinery. There's all these things that are extremely dangerous.
I'm pretty sure there was some roast beef on like a slicer.
Yeah, that's it too. Yeah. That's like the first thing to start out, the slicer.
Yeah.
He lifts her up in the vent that like is unblocked. There's no screen on it. So it chops half the head off of the mascot.
And
it's a dangerous kitchen.
Later he uses a bone to kill a guy.
A chicken bone fucking bones his neck. I mean, the mascot, he finally like shoves her into the goddamn dishwasher or something. Isn't that a dishwasher?
Yeah.
She just gets like choked to death. How about that?
It's a dangerous kitchen.
I'm assuming we'll hear about that at some point.
No wonder the chef was so like, guarding of his facility area.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
a dangerous place, man. Yeah, you got to run that.
Yeah.
It's usually tight quarters. You got a bunch of people on deadlines running around. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a general in there. Hallmark gets a call in to Foss. He just wants to check on the VP, make sure he's still alive if they're doing all this work. Darren then runs into the fake security guard that he doesn't realize is a fake security guard. It's like, hey, this shit's going on. That mascot took my dog. There's bombs. There's this. There's that. Oh, okay. Let's talk about this. And the guard slips up and says the name of the woman who was in the gimmick. And it's not Joan. And that's where he gets killed with the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Moron.
So now he's like, okay, well, I can't trust anybody inside. Let me call out. I'll call the cops. But the phones are dead. The pay phones are dead. All the phones in the executive offices are dead. Know who else is dead in the executive office? Joan, the hot blonde.
There you go. Hope you weren't invested in her as a character.
What a waste.
She dead.
Oh, possible love interest? Interesting. No, she dead. She's just dead.
I bet Van Damme did have sex with her though.
I'm betting so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
He went after Kylie Minogue during Street Fighter. He definitely
Yeah.
went after this chick.
Oh yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
He was a dog.
In the suit or out is the question. Head on or head off?
I don't know.
There was head involved, I'm sure.
I think he just only
All
wear
right.
the head, right? That would be fun.
Look, AI has become a very dangerous thing. Chad Cruz, I swear to God, if you get off this podcast, and you're like, AI, make me a portrait of Jean-Claude Van Damme
Ooh.
fucking a girl with a penguin head on.
Brain, I'm gonna need you to get on this right away.
Don't get tempted.
New
gonna
feature on bulletproofaction.com.
I'm gonna Google search how do I use AI?
Oh boy. Well, you know what? He does find, in addition to Dead Joan, is there's a mobile phone, a 1995 style one on the
Magic.
net. And he calls 911. They connect him to Hallmark, who's attempting to get some guys inside. He's like, hey, we got this covered. We're the professionals. Don't do anything. And just then he sends his guys in, and very much like Die Hard when they foolishly send guys to the front door, cars just start blowing up in the parking lot. And it's just chaos. Toyman, I want to say something to you right now, you bastard.
Oh,
This exploding cars scene I saw repurposed in a movie with Jesse Spano in it. Do you know what it is?
pretty sure she only did Showgirls.
No, it was something else. I don't have the answer for this one, but she was in it. It was like something I caught on TV. I'm like, what the hell? That's like the sudden death blowing up car.
Is it that Tail Lights Fade movie?
It could be, but that's just a fun fact. Well, somebody could look it up and tell us.
I mean, I'm always down for Saved by the Bell reference for sure. But now I've got to think, obviously when you think of Elizabeth Berkley's filmography, no matter how many things I've seen her in, it always goes right to that one movie.
Yes, we should do that movie next.
What's this wee stuff?
Kind
Are
of
you back?
action.
For sure?
Yeah, Chad Cruz back.
The royal we.
Yeah, it's always the royal we with Chad Cruz. So yeah, Darren's like, what is all that? I'm gonna find these bombs myself, and he hangs up and goes about his business. Now Hallmark.
Before we get into that, though,
Yeah,
I guess now's the best time to talk about it.
Okay.
How hard would it be to make this movie today because of cell phones?
Oh, impossible.
Like, so much of the plot depends on knowing the 20,000 people inside that arena.
Yeah, they have
what the hell's going on.
They have
All the
no
police
idea.
presence. It is a nice shot though of the from the helicopter of like police cars lining the entire like square triangle of roads around the arena. Like they've entire blockade. The news is covering it. No one inside the arena knows, which is it's a really cool element in the movie. This like isolated environment with all this going on, but it'd be really hard to pull off now. You'd have to have some sort of fuckery to kind of explain why nobody inside knows what's going on.
You'd have to have a destro device that would prevent cell phone.
Yeah, you would need like another 5-minute scene in the beginning setup where they like place some sort of satellite towers that kill
it's under the pyramid of darkness, and nothing gets through that shit. I got news for you. So yeah, the Hallmark then tries to send some guys through the roof via helicopter, but then our guy who killed Mrs. Roper is across the way with a bazooka, and he takes those poor bastards out. So then Hallmark gets an "I told you so" call from Foss, because like, you're not supposed to be trying any of this. And then then another guy interrupts. He's like, "Come on, boss, you got to see this." And here comes a Zamboni filled with dead agents.
Yeah, including the one guy that they're like, oh, he's wearing dress pants and a Penguins jacket. Like, how obvious can you be?
Mm-hmm.
And props to the Zamboni for driving itself out there and then opening up to reveal the dead bodies. Like, just really, I don't know if they paid it off or what.
They may have. So
AI controlled Zamboni.
Foss is now okay. So now Darren has officially become the fly in the ointment, and Foss is like, we got to get some guys to go find this this guy because he could be a problem. Because now they find out he was a hero and all that. Like, oh, he's got tendencies. He's got hero tendencies. We better shut this thing down. So Darren successfully disarms one of the bombs, and he then goes to like the video board control, the board on the outside of the arena, and he gets word to Hallmark, got one of the bombs, blah, blah, blah. Once again, though, Captain Bazooka over there takes care of that, so that is gone. So now Hallmark's like, God damn it, I'm going in there myself.
Little chess match going on the outside. I like it. That's clever.
So Darren now, Toyman, we get a little bit of like an A-team moment. He's like a one-man A-team right now.
A lot of improv skills here.
He's building shit.
He found a work desk with an axe grinder. And another thing too, I always love movies like this. They get to show you the behind the scenes. Like just internally, I'm kind of obsessed with the back areas of, theme parks or arenas. So you get a lot of like views of like the behind the scenes thing. There's this work desk with a grinder and a cutter. Very cool.
You need that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's there doing he's getting it ready, and it pays off instantly because he's got this like nail shooting gimmick. And sure enough, here comes one of Foss's guys, kills him. But there's a guy behind him. Don't worry about it. Hallmark shows up, takes him out. And now Darren's like, hey, Hallmark, look at this map I got. This is where I think he's got these bombs. This is where I would put him if I wanted to take the whole building down. Chad Cruz, do you have that skill where you can look at a blueprint and figure out where a bomb would be best placed?
No, I don't.
Bombs. Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right.
If I was going to attempt to bring down an arena in downtown, you wouldn't know where the best places were.
No.
Okay.
No, sorry. I'd probably look for something structural. If I'm going to bring down a building, I'd probably look for something structural. I'd look for
a load-bearing wall of some sort.
All of these major arenas and stadiums have underground tunnels that run to and from them. They really do. I've been in all the ones in my city.
Ryan Campbell's so fucking jealous of you right now.
Oh man, he's seen the things.
They all have them, and there are certainly places that you could place objects. I'm sure that would do that, but I don't suggest you do that.
No, don't do it, folks.
No, please don't.
And he also mentions my son is in the stands. He's in section D, whatever. Okay.
Whoops.
So Foss gets a phone call and he's like, "What? Why are you calling? No, you don't talk to me we got to meet face to face." And who was it on the other end? That goddamn Hallmark. He's like the John Amos now of the movie.
That's why he's so confident, because he thinks he's got a man on the outside that's calling the shots. Is on his payroll.
Man.
Goddamn name Hallmark, so misleading. There's no tender sentiment from this guy.
No. Wow, Toyman bringing the heat with that one. All right, so yeah, they may not. So he said, "Hey, I didn't get Darren for you, but I got the next best thing. His son is over." But it's like, don't you already have his daughter? But whatever. We can get the son too. Okay.
He never liked his daughter.
Yeah.
So Hallmark goes to get Tyler, but Tyler, he is going to win like Son of the Year for obeying the rules at this point. After he got yelled at once, that's all it took. He was told to stay there. And so, yeah, Hallmark's like, "Oh, I'm a friend of your dad. Oh, no, I'm really the Secret Service. We got to." And Tyler's like, "I don't care. My dad said stay here." And then the angry people are like, "Hey, down in front, you bastard. We're trying to watch this game. We're up here in the nosebleeds as it is, and now I got to see your head." Yeah, so he's like, "Well, what do I can't do anything about this." So he just has to leave.
All these people around. Can't exactly haul a kid out of there.
No. So then he catches back up with Darren, who took the super soaker gun from his son. That was the cause of the argument earlier. But he also found a little Zippo lighter fluid in that desk, Chad Cruz.
Hell yeah.
And you know what's coming. He makes himself a little super soaker flamethrower.
Whew. As any of us would.
Every boy's dream.
I mean, I will say I was on TikTok Shop like the other day.
Oh boy.
And they had like a flamethrower gun on there. They're like, for Father's Day. I was like, that is pretty freaking awesome. It was like $40 and it's like a straight up gun with a big old funnel on the end. You just hook up like a propane, like those little camper propane tanks to it. And it's like a big flamethrower. Like, that's freaking sweet.
Fantastic flamethrower scene in
Lyle and Emery, if you're listening, give me that for Father's
They're
Day.
not don't let them listen to this show.
No, please don't.
Come on now. It's not for
My kid listens to this show.
you got problems.
I'm gonna have to watch my language.
Then I can't wait till he calls you a bald bastard. That will be the crowning achievement of my life. He'll be like,
I mean, he already tries to roast me with the first part. You know, he wouldn't dare say the second part. The kid asks for permission to say "Hell in a Cell," but he's like, "Dad, you're bald," and I'm like, "You better hope the genetics don't catch up to you."
Bald, yeah. But yeah, the great flamethrower scene in Ballerina movie. Oh, good shit there. All right,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Review on bulletproofection.com.
Indeed there is. Darren now has to. Oh yeah, so Darren is out. He fights back. He's like mutilated. He's all like half his face, but he gets killed. But now Darren's got the line to
Looks
Foss.
like the zombie from Thriller.
Indeed. And he's like, I've got a game for you, Foss, you bastard. And I'm going to get all these bombs before the end of the game. I'm going to find, all right, well, come and get me.
So now we have a game inside a game inside a game.
Indeed. And then
Take it.
Emily and Foss have a little confrontation again. And she stamps his hand with her stamp gimmick that has been established already. She's stamping everybody. Tolliver, the goalie, meanwhile, is not feeling well. He's had a fever, and they've mentioned this on commentary.
Yes, again, established earlier in the movie.
He has to go back to the locker room. Foss calls in on Darren. Like, oh, let me see where this bastard is. He knows by the background noise exactly where he is. So they get the guys to go there. One of them, which is one of Chad's all-time favorites, Manny Perry.
Oh, Manny Perry.
So they're there.
That's who it was.
So now Darren
If you saw me, you'd recognize it too.
Now Darren is running through the seats. He's hopping over people. He's trying to get away from these two guys.
I did love that there was conveniently like one person missing from a seat every perfectly in a little line until he gets down to the bottom. Then he does just start trampling on people.
Probably out getting them soft pretzels. We were talking about.
Oh my God, I could go for one right now. So yeah, he eventually gets to the back, and now he gets there. Tolliver's uniform is there because he's getting medical attention. Now we've got the other probably most famous. Well, there's a big finale too that's pretty freaking famous as well. But another one with Van Damme. He has to be the goalie in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Toyman, what a high pressure situation this is for a man who
High pressure situation.
He played some hockey in Canada. So I guess they did establish that he was Canadian.
Right. I was going to say, I don't know if it's...
And that he played some hockey.
Right.
Yeah, that's not his accent, but maybe they were just trying to people in the 90s don't know where accents are from. So we'll just say he's from...
He could be from Montreal.
He does play a French Canadian a lot.
Canadian,
It seems like, that's like one of his go-tos.
Yeah.
And the only disappointing part of this is that he does make a save, but he didn't do it while doing his trademark Van Damme split.
Oh, you're right.
I will say this though. Do you know what's important to being a goalie? Flexibility.
Yes.
And do you know what will teach you flexibility?
Martial arts.
Martial arts. Bam.
I really love when he comes out and when he first goes to the bench, he skates over to the bench and he's just like, I'm just going to hide here. And the coach is like, Tolliver, you feeling better? And he just kind of nods. He's like, well, get the fuck out there.
Classic coach behavior.
That's great.
So he has it. He's there. He's in the goal. Save of the year. Unbelievable.
Got a little Mighty Ducks in our sudden death movie here.
And then he does the little I love you signal that his daughter kept showing off her sign language skills.
Mm-hmm.
He directs it to Tyler. So now Tyler's like, what the fuck? What?
It's like, this goalie loves me? What in the
Right.
world?
What is
Tolliver
going
loves
on?
me? Weird.
Know who Tolliver doesn't love? The guy he just decks because he starts a hockey fight, so then he's ejected, so he does not have to have this asshole clenching moment ever again in his life.
There's like 3 minutes left in the game, and his daughter's about to die, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I gotta get off this ice."
And then that low budget Larry Zonka, that was the coach, is like yelling, like, "What the fuck are you
What
doing?"
the fuck? Yeah, it was
The
great.
look on his son's face too. He's like, "I am so confused right now."
Yeah. Yeah. No one else is confused. Manny Perry and his fellow goon.
Get him, Manny. I was rooting for Manny.
I know you are because you love Manny Perry. You
Big
did
Manny Perry guy.
did a post about him years ago.
Mhm. I remember that.
Just any post you did at this point pretty much could be said years ago. Anyway,
Yes. That is accurate.
the third period is now ending. All the bombs haven't been found. Oh, shit. What's going to happen now? I'll tell you what's going to happen. They tie it up, folks, and we are going to go into sudden death.
Wait a second,
Beautiful.
Brain. So, for those listeners out there who aren't familiar with hockey
Right.
and the rules, what exactly is sudden death?
Sudden
Toyman?
death. Toyman, yeah, go.
You're the hockey expert.
Sudden death would be the overtime period, and the first team to score to break the tie wins. So it's not like the extra innings in baseball or
Right.
an extra quarter in basketball. It is first to a goal wins the game.
So you would continue to play until someone scored.
Correct.
Right.
So what you're saying is this movie that, from the very beginning, from the very onset of this film, it so cleverly told us how much time until the game, 4 hours, 2 hours, 90 minutes, whatever the hell, 2 minutes. At the end of this period, we're going to do this. At the end of this period, we're going to do this. The entire movie, we've been taught to just watch this clock on our wrist to say, or on the scoreboard, and say that when this clock strikes 0, bad things are going to happen. But now, their time doesn't matter. It could stop at any moment. We don't have time. We have to fucking save everybody now.
Yeah, you thought it was tense when you had a clock to look at to count down. Now once that buzzer goes off and the game's over, your daughter's dead. Like that's
There's no
This
more
movie
waiting. We
foreshadows the
can't wait.
foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. Sudden death, baby. What a great title for the film. I do want to point out something I did see in the IMDb trivia, because there's a lot of actuallys out there in an actual game, and you could clarify this for us, Chris. If you got this, there would be an intermission and the teams would go back. But obviously, if they did that, they would see dead Manny Perry and people and then something, the jig would be up. So we're just going to not follow that rule, and instead
We're just going to do an immediate overtime.
We're just going right into it. So,
and they're long ass intermissions too.
Right.
Like
yeah,
they're good. They're like a halftime break.
Right. He could easily find all the bombs at that point. It wouldn't be fair.
So, there's not enough Manny Perrys to kill during all this time.
Exactly.
We only have one Manny Perry to kill. So
he's done. So
now,
now,
I didn't even think about that. I just thought the movie just did timey-wimey stuff. Like, yeah, they did the intermission and now we're starting. Like,
no. So they just go into it, and Darren goes back into A-team mode, and now he's making a concoction. He's going to get into that owner's box one way or the other, and it's probably going to be the hard way.
It's probably going to kill his daughter, but it's all right. He's just going to get in that box.
So, getting in the box is what got him the daughter to begin with. Now, listen to me, folks. We go up to the roof now, and he fights a guard up on the roof. And now one of the features of the igloo in Pittsburgh was the retractable roof, which also comes again. They're genius. They picked the perfect spot for this movie. So he's opening the retractable roof. Then all of a sudden, here comes guard number 2, and now he's got to deal with him. He's dangling up there. No, but these people down there are so focused on the sudden death, they're not paying attention to somebody's hanging above the.
Oh, you want to talk though about how we don't make movies like we used to anymore? There's this wonderful little musical cue when he drops down to start hanging below the barriers because he's going to try to climb his way around the guard, and he does the little swing around glass, and the music just goes right as he swings down. It's just such a nice little moment that we don't do in movies anymore.
Blame yourself.
It's perfect 90s.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, He's dangling there, undetected. Second guard falls. Oh, he's gonna fall. He grabs a light, and now he's trying to swing over to like the catwalk. That doesn't quite work out. And then he lands on top of the scoreboard. And I have to imagine that someone at the WWE saw this movie because whenever they have somebody fall into equipment, this is exactly what always happens. There's like sparks forever, just like going crazy. And it just, obviously now this is starting to get people in the arena a bit worried because what the hell, the commentators, you bastards, you're a commentator, you stay there as long the building could be falling down around you. You are to broadcast that game. They're the first guys out.
You're
Tell
like
the story.
You're like the musician on the Titanic. You got to go down with the ship, right? You got to play as it goes down.
You stay out there, but they're the first to go.
I don't know what it was about that whole fight scene above like the opening, but like it made me feel more anxious than I usually am. I've seen thousands of action movies where people fight on like the edge of something high up and henchman falls. Like seen it a million times. For whatever reason, this particular one, I don't know if it's just the environment or the thought that if you fell, you would fall onto like ice in front of 20,000 people, like on TV. Like, I don't know what about the stakes, but just watching them roll around on the edge of that roof was just making me like super anxious.
I'm always anxious with these high spots. Oh, I don't like it.
Same.
So now Darren's big move is next because he's swinging around like Tarzan, and he uses his explosive jar, and he gets into that damn booth. But now, obviously, people are like, what the hell's going on? There's a guy swinging in the arena.
Spider-Man's in here.
He's blowing up the owner's box. Come on.
And there's no mass hysteria until he throws his little jar concoction. Everyone's just kind of standing there like, the hell?
They thought, yeah, perhaps he was just some nut who's just like trying for attention. Like
they don't bring up that Darren was also a trapeze artist in Canada.
In Montreal.
Montreal, yeah.
That's where he got flexibility from.
Yes.
There you go.
So yeah, he's there. People are now getting out. Tyler, however, once again, good boy, just sitting right there in his seat, just watching all this going around. Darren and Emily are reunited, but Foss has exited, and he's putting on a nice mustache and Penguins attire, merch. He's just gonna blend in with the rest of the Pittsburgh rubes and just go out there.
The humanoids
indeed. And then he's like, oh, let me see if any of these bombs are left. There's one left. It seemed to be on the water main because then the place is starting to flood. The vice president, of course, being rushed to safety. A Secret Service guy comes up to Darren's like, oh, the vice president wants to meet you and blah, blah, blah. And that's where Emily's wandering off. He's like, because she sees the stamp on Foss's hand. And she goes up to him. Darren's not paying attention. He's talking to Secret Service guy. Foss sees her, picks her up. He's got an insurance policy now. And we're back to the goddamn roof. Because Foss has a getaway chopper waiting for him. He's had this whole thing thought out.
You gotta have an escape strategy, yeah, for sure. That was probably always his plan, but he just thought he would just go there from the box.
You think he was going to kill all his associates and just keep all the money for himself?
That's usually the MO with these guys.
Son of a bitch.
The nerd goes last because you need them to wire all the money.
Well, we're back to the roof for Darren once again. So we get this. He gets Emily to safety, and he's got one move left. He has a gun, Chad Cruz, and that helicopter's starting to take off, but it's not going to go very far because he just shoots the hell out of the helicopter. And then we get, again, another of the most iconic scenes from this film, and one I'm sure our friend Will over at Exploding Helicopter has seen 9,000 times.
People keep tagging him with this video on Twitter. Yeah, it's the Foss was smart enough to have a helicopter waiting for him, but he wasn't smart enough to put like a armored bottom to protect himself from bullets. So right. The pilot gets blasted from below. Darren's just pumping bullets into this thing, and then it does a complete what is that, like a
It like
90-degree
moonwalks.
turn.
Nosedive, not just nosedive, it's on rails. That
It
sucker
tail
comes down
dives.
It's like
completely
upside,
straight.
yeah. It's like upside down and just directly goes straight down somehow. I don't know how they do it, but it's incredible. Through the retractable roof,
Doesn't kill his daughters in the blades.
misses everyone,
Yeah.
hits the ice into a ball of flames. Just beautiful.
Definitely one of the most unique exploding helicopters in movie history.
And it definitely looked like they dropped a helicopter onto an ice rink. Like,
It was
yeah.
good. It was good looking. Yeah.
I tried to tell if it was like miniatures and composite, but it really
Right.
looks like they just straight dropped a helicopter on an ice rink.
I
You-
do wonder. I question why they didn't have Darren drop a one-liner, like like
Looks
times
like your
up.
plans are on ice.
Oh, even better. That's pure Schwarzenegger, like Batman Forever, or Batman and Robin, I guess.
Correct.
Watching this movie back, that scene that is a great scene. It's a great ending to the film. Spoiler alert, obviously, there's no coming back from that one. Foss is dead. But there are some of the sequences, like especially while the chopper is falling, where it looks very dated. But then the actual effect of it crashing, exploding, the visual of the flames inside of the reflection of his daughter's glasses. Awesome way to display the chaos of that final scene. But there were a couple of points where it's like, this looks like 1995 effects. Like you can't really polish that up. It really does look like a product of its time.
The best one is when he knocks the henchman down the roof that's sliding. Like
Yeah.
if you look closely, he's just like rotoscoped and he just like slides all the way down. That one looked really good. And for whatever reason, I was watching on the projector. It looked really goofy. But and also props to Emily with that grip strength. She needs to be on like Kids Ninja Warrior or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like just the dumb look on Foss's face as he was going. Like, but I guess
Yeah.
what? How else are you gonna look? I guess you're either just gonna be screaming or you're just gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
Like you got to be kidding me.
I mean,
Like,
you're kind of screwed because even if you could like level the helicopter, you're like
Right? Yeah.
in the rafters of a stadium. Like you're going to hit something either
You're
way.
gonna
Like you're
explode.
done.
You're exploding one way or the other.
What's like, in Alan Rickman when they did the fall scene in Die Hard, like they didn't tell him when they were dropping him or something. So you get this like legitimate, fearful, like
Right.
the face he's making is,
Yeah.
and Powers Booth is just kind of like, again, like he's died 3 times already.
This might as well happen.
Yeah, darn it.
Unforgettable. All right, Toyman, your final thoughts on Sudden Death.
A fun movie, a great movie. Obviously, tying it into hockey, my favorite sport to watch, is an added bonus so that we get to kind of have a theme. I know you love your themes, Brain, but it was nice to go back and watch this one. Hadn't watched it in a while. I'm not sure how long it's been since it's been on streaming, but it's probably been like a year or two since I watched it on Tubi. So yeah, this is a fun one. I wouldn't call it my favorite Van Damme film. I think that's reserved for his earlier efforts. But this might be the last great Van Damme film of his first run.
Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, I think definitely one of my favorites from Van Damme is someone who doesn't have as deep of a filmography knowledge as the rest of you, but yeah, I mean, it has everything I like in an action movie. I love the kind of single location action movies. I love the kind of Die Hard style. Like I said earlier, the addition of having ESPN logos and the NHL logos just makes everything feel so much more important. The timeline stuff we talked about. It's just a really great action movie. It gets a little convoluted and goofy in the end, maybe. I don't think they needed to go as over the top as they did, but it's a good time and definitely one of those ones to make sure you watch every once in a while.
Chad Cruz, the returning Chad Cruz.
I think they spend a surprising amount of time not showing action in this movie. It's probably at least a third of the film goes by before anybody gets punched or kicked or shot or anything. So as far as Van Damme movies goes, that's a long time. But it's always felt like one of those weird transitional movies for me where it's not in my probably top 6, 7 Van Damme films, but it's really good. It's like, at that tail end of 10 or a dozen. But I still think it's kind of like the Die Hard in a hockey arena or whatever, but it's it's one of the better ones, I think.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but Van Damme is still Van Damme here. He's not like washed. He's not washed up. He's still really good. And the movie
It's not
itself,
Steven Seagal.
he's not Steven Seagal yet. I mean, Under Siege is probably still my favorite Die Hard knockoff, Die Hard on the submarine. But I think that this movie is better than it deserves to be.
This movie was ranked number 4 when we ranked the JCVD movies of the 90s last year. I absolutely love the movie. It's one that again, it's not in my top 3, but it could be in my top 5. Especially if I just watched it like I just did and I was all amped up about it. And it's a movie that will be celebrating its 30th anniversary later this year. So
There you go.
another good reason to cover it here on the podcast. Sudden Death, JCVD, here during the Stanley Cup Finals. It's absolutely perfect. And let us know what you think about it on social media at Bulletproof Pod on X and Blue Sky at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and Facebook. We talked about it before. The YouTube channel, Ryan Campbell, I know you're always putting stuff up there. We're going to have our A-Team episode, which I've mentioned A-Team a few times on this episode. We're going to have our A-Team episode to celebrate its 15th anniversary, which will be tomorrow as this drops. So we will have that up at some point this week on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone that keeps going over there and leaving comments and liking all the videos and watching them. It's been fun to get kind of caught up to speed on those, and I try to keep uploading stuff, Brain. So good.
All right. And yeah, definitely thank you to everybody who's checked out our Enter the Dragon. That's like the big winner so far this year.
Yeah, it helps having that Bruce Lee tag on there. YouTube likes that.
Just put him on all. Put it on everything.
Everything.
If he's not in the movie or not. He would have been in the movie if he was alive. So there you go.
And the nice thing I look for is I check the amount of dislikes, because my other thought is how many people think that they're clicking on it to see the movie.
Yeah.
And not realize it's a podcast talking about it. But there's not the percentage of, there's not like a bunch of dislikes ratio. It's not ratioed with dislikes, which I wish people would do. So
yeah, I would think they might dislike it as soon as they hear my voice, which would be very early on in the video. But what can I do about that? Chad Cruz, anything else you want to say? We so seldom hear from you. Is there a message you have for the world?
It feels good to be back to talk with my friends here and to to be here for you guys, because I know you've missed me so much, especially you, Brain.
Of course.
You just miss me so much.
Of course.
You call me crying all the time. I don't know why.
That's not true.
Just leaving voicemails on your phone.
I just hang up. I don't even listen to them. I
know you're getting these.
But no, it has been fun. I missed you guys. But maybe next time we could do a movie with more nude scenes.
Right. This is a rare Jean-Claude Van Damme kept his pants on movie.
We did see a hockey player's ass.
That's true. We did. And with a jockstrap on his head. The vice president saw him like that too. How embarrassing.
He even made a nice little gag about it too. It's good. He's a people person.
He really is. Toyman, is there anything you want to say?
Just thank you for listening to the Bulletproof podcast. Thank you for checking out the YouTube channel. Thank you for reading No Surrender Cinema. You can check those out at bulletproofaction.com. The most recent one was Mitchell, the tribute to the late Joe Don Baker, who passed away last month. Most people remember that one from Mystery Science Theater, but I went back and watched the unedited, R-rated, as it was intended version. So there is a review of that one up, as well as the return to my Kung Fu roots, talking about the man, Barry Chan, recently. So a couple of the most recent articles up there that you can check out. And then Black Creek is coming this month, as well as something yet to be determined. Hopefully, I will figure that one out over the next few days.
Goddamn Barry Chan. We talked about some World's Most Dangerous. Check out, before Wild West Week, I will have the World's Most Dangerous buses. So be ready for that, folks. Check it out. And the Ballerina, and there's the new Scott Adkins movie coming out this week. Diablo, I will be covering that as well for the site. So if you're not a Wild West person, that's fine. There's other stuff on the site for you as well. So check it out, bulletproofaction.com. Thank you, everyone. To echo Toyman sentiment, I want to thank you for listening. And as always, stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.